No tenemos un
We do not
análisis
have a
de la
detailed
crisis
theoretical analysis of the economic and financial crisis of the 16th century because Ramón Carande studied in Germany with the great professors of the German historical school, and so his underlying interpretative theory of what happened leaves a lot to be desired. He had practically no theory. He was a good historian, but without theory, if one can possibly be a good historian without theory. But fortunately, we have the works of Carlo Maria Cipolla, who studied banking in Florence in the 14th century and focused on the same area of research with respect to the 16th century. At that time, the world was already very globalized, and together the influx of precious metals and the proliferation of means of payment, money substitutes, through fractional reserve banking, had an impact which spread throughout Europe. Seville, in Spain, was the port of entry, but gold was then immediately dispersed. The Spanish needed to buy cannons, gunpowder, and Flemish cloth, and they paid in gold, and the gold immediately left Spain. As a writer of the period aptly put it, the gold ran away as if it had legs, and it left Spain. It did not last long. It was fleeting. It reached Italy, and it reached Flanders, and there also the actions of private bankers produced the multiplier effect, and the bubble of euphoria spread across Europe, until a severe financial crisis hit Europe, ruined the bankers, and gave rise to a deep economic recession. Cipolla studies it in relation to Italian cities in the 16th century. The trigger was the failure of the Ricci Bank, the directors of which had used a large portion of the money on demand deposit to purchase government securities and grant loans. Credit euphoria had resulted, but when it became clear that many of those loans would not be repaid because they had been invested unwisely, confidence in the bank plummeted. People went to withdraw their money, and it was gone. It is especially interesting to read the different proclamations of the authorities of the time. For example, in a 1574 proclamation, a lawsuit is issued, and bankers are accused of paying only with ink, of receiving deposits of real gold from customers, but of returning to them only debased coins with a low gold content, etc., or simply a paper that read, "We promise to pay." They paid with ink. Listen, I do not want you to pay me with ink. I want you to return real gold to me, because that is what I deposited. Craftsmen could not withdraw their deposits. As a result, one after another, they were unable to pay their debts. They could not pay wages. There was a very severe credit squeeze, mancamento della credenza. Finally, a grave economic crisis hit. Initially, a financial crisis, with the failure of all the banks, and then a deep economic recession, which spread throughout Europe and ruined the bankers in Seville.